We are live with the community. This is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community Call Weekly. Woo! Welcome, everybody. We are live from ECS. With me is Louisa Fries and Vessa, who is ironically the man in the camper. We'll take pictures and show you later. It'll make more sense. He is the wizard of community, right?
Yes, he is.
The wizard of community. What do we have in store for today? We're going to have the latest updates and news on the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community. We are going to see news across Microsoft blogs. We're going to have group picture time, so we're going to do this in a dual method. We're going to take pictures of all of you, and you'll hear it in a minute. You hear us, right? You can hear me. You'll hear them. You'll be good. And so we're going to have group picture time. It's going to be a hybrid of those here live in the expo hall. And then we're going to see three amazing presenters. Seb is going to be here to talk about building your first declarative agent with TypeSpec for Microsoft 365 agents. Sarah is going to be here, introduction to Microsoft 365 Agent SDK. And then we're going to see another one of our SharePoint Hackathon winners. Richard and Mallika is here to show custom SharePoint portal design, one of the winners. So woo! We have to make up our sound effects. I don't have my sound effects with me, so. Yes, okay, let's move fast, everybody. We got lots of resources available for each and every one of you in the community. Our Microsoft community learning videos, our LinkedIn page, open source tools, sample galleries. You don't have to remember everything. Only one URL, community.ms, will give you access to all these things. And if you're here because you like community calls, we won't be here live next week, but we will be on the call live next week. So please come join all these community calls. You can get recurrent invites from aka.ms/community/calls. And you know, we also invite people to present, right, Louisa?
Yes, that is correct. So if you feel like you want to be one of the presenters, please, we do have a form. You can see the URL here. It is aka.ms/community/request/demo. You can put in your request and I will get you scheduled.
It just rolls right off the tongue. Such a lovely URL.
Right.
It's short, right?
It is super. So that is our short URL.
That's right.
Yes.
Wait till you see our long URL. You'll be impressed. It's like 3 letters. So, okay. And we got some, I don't know, learning opportunities, right?
We have learning opportunities for you. So if you want to learn something more about Microsoft Cloud, then please go visit learn.microsoft.com. We have a bunch of URLs here as well. So please go learn and then share and then come back again.
Yes, absolutely. And that could lead you to samples. How many samples do we have?
Over 2,340 samples.
2,000.
And yeah, it's just like, it is super amazing. So we have samples across the board, just like everything, list formatting, SPFX, just like literally everything that you can imagine Power Platform. I want you to submit a sample as well.
Yeah, you can be part of the next sample. Yeah, you. Right?
Also you.
And you, what you have. But we want more, Zhao. Awesome. Okay, you can be part of that. And if you're not sure how to contribute to samples, that GitHub hubs, that hub of Gits, that GitHub that's a confusing labyrinth, Sharing is Caring is here to help you with that. These are live sessions. We'll walk you through how to accomplish a pull request. And if you don't know what a pull request is, it's your gateway to contributions. It's absolutely free. Our next one is session scheduled June 23rd. Absolutely free to join. Please do sign up, aka.ms/sharing is caring. And once you do, we want to recognize you, which is our recognition program. These are badges powered by Critchley that are free and available to each and every single one of you. They show that you're making a difference in the community. And we've even got our Star Wars themed badges right now. That was a lightsaber sound effect, right?
A lightsaber.
So
exactly.
Absolutely, these are wonderful. They're real and accredited, and we want you to be part of it. So get involved, aka.ms/community/recognition. And we've also got some events. Oh, hey, I've heard of this event. Have you heard of this event?
I think I heard of it.
I think there's still time. So if you're anywhere in the world, get on a plane right now. We still have tomorrow. So come be part of the fun at ECS. Yes. But we have others in case you can't. EPPC is coming up, so take advantage of that. We've got our TechCon. Of course, we've got our Power Platform Conference coming up in Las Vegas in October. We've got Ignite coming up in November, ESPC in Dublin in December. Every single month we've got something going on. Yeah, and it's not just the big conferences. We've got big community conferences as well. These are shows that are put on by other members of the community just like you. Please go and support them. Some are live, some are remote, some are hybrid. All of them require a lot of hard work to put on, so please take advantage of it. We absolutely welcome you. Now, we've also got a little bit of news going on, so we'll try to get this into the show notes. We're not going to put it in the chat right this second. There's always news going on. Of course, Vessa compiled this. This is hot off the presses, so please take advantage of it. We will share it soon. And we've got our Copilot prompts library. So this is a wonderful opportunity to contribute if you never have. We all have prompts that we've used, so share it with the community. If it's useful to you, it'll be useful to them, right?
Absolutely. Sharing is
100.
caring.
Okay, now it is time to do our click, 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 picture time. Okay, so I think Vesa is going to capture everybody live here, and then I'm going to attempt to make this. I'm going to have to share your mic because I got to put this down to use.
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's do this, everybody. Let me get Camtasia spun up here. It was already spun up and it crashed, so that's always wonderful. And let me do this. Let me turn on together mode. Where's our together mode? There we go. Together mode. And let's do this. And if Camtasia, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good on time. Okay, let's do this. And let's do community call. There we go. And I think I need to move this onto the other screen. So now we're really getting very, very creative. And if I have to capture it from the video, we can do that. All right, so let's do this. All right, we got people in the crowd waving, and I don't even know where my, there we go. Oh my goodness, everybody, give us just a second. We appreciate your patience. We love you. Things are going crazy at the event here, and everyone's waving in person, and we're gonna give you an opportunity to wave online in just a second. I had this running, I swear. So let's do this, and let's do this, and let's do screen 2, and wonderful. All right, everybody, online. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Wave, everybody. I see Seb. I see Stephanie, Richard, looking great. Awesome. Great to see everybody. Okay. All right. Let me go over and stake that off the screen. Come back over here, and we will move to our next section of the call, which is what we are all here for. Hopefully, all the mic and audio works up. Seb is going to come and talk to us about build your TypeSpec declarative agent using TypeSpec. And so, Seb, if you would like to take over the screen share, and we should hopefully hear you here live in the Expo Center.
Let's see. Can you hear me in Germany?
Yes, we can live. And as soon as you take over the screen share, I will move that back over. Let me do this. And do this. And let me try and get out of. All right, Seb, take it away.
Awesome. Well, it's kind of amazing to be here and to share the stage with you crazy folks in Germany. It's really cool to be there in that hybrid format. It's been a while I've been here, so it's good to see familiar faces and new faces, so that's really cool. Today I want to bring some cool news that were delivered last week at Microsoft Build, where I had the privilege to present a couple of sessions and do labs and so on. And I wanted to focus today on how you really can build your first declarative agents using TypeSpec for Microsoft 365 Copilot. So let's dive into it. We have a really, really cool session today because I know me, and then after that it's Sarah. So a lot of pro dev capabilities for agents in M365. So really cool stuff happening here. So first, you will now have the ability to create agents, right? You already have that. You can use Copilot Studio, Agent Builder. What is, I think, really interesting is that as part of this build, you really have the full opportunity to build with pro code tooling using the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit that got announced at Build. And you really have the ability to build or to connect your agents to Microsoft 365 Copilot. And with the Agents Toolkit, you have the ability to do so many things, from building declarative agents or custom engine agents, or even Copilot connectors and agents for Teams and Teams apps and add-ins and so on and so forth. The Agents Toolkit becomes super powerful and is the tool you need to have installed on your dev machine to make sure that you can take advantage of all of it. In our case, I will be focusing on one aspect of it, which is the newly released template for TypeSpec for Microsoft 365 Copilot. So what does it do? What does it provide exactly? And we're literally building tooling that goes beyond the basics. If you've ever used Microsoft 365 Copilot as a dev, you've probably used our declarative agent samples, and you've used the templates, and it's a JSON file you need to edit. It's great for small or simple scenarios, but as soon as you get really complicated where you want to integrate with a bunch of different remote APIs, it's really not that simple. So we're bringing you really beyond the basics. Our platform is evolving at the speed of AI, and you've seen that, right? You've seen our things move, you've seen our capabilities change, you've seen us adding so many features to Copilot. Well, now we're going to shield the developer from all that churn. We're going to make sure that the dev has an experience that's as stable as possible, but we're going to do all the heavy lifting for you to make sure you can take advantage of all of the cool, new, and shiny things that are being built inside Microsoft 365 Copilot. So that way you can stay productive without really rewriting all the code to keep up with our own backend changes. And most importantly, we're making the inner loop as smooth as possible. We're going to have you have faster iterations, better tooling, full integration into your IDE, instant validation of all the things you're building. So it means for you just way less distractions, so you can focus on the real thing that makes sense for you, which is building cool software. So let's ditch the slides, right? And let's just go on and automatically go into demo mode so I can show you exactly what that is all about. And David, Vesa, Luisa, please feel free to stop me when I go over. I'm too excited, too passionate about that thing, so I might go over. No, I'm going to check the time, but just saying. So first, I am in Visual Studio Code here. I have the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit already installed. I'm using the latest production version of it, so you can go to the store, get the Agents Toolkit, and that's what you get. Then from here, you can just go on and create a new agent or app. And that's where you're going to make your choice, right? You're going to have the choice of declarative agents, custom engine agents, and so many more. For us, we're going to start with declarative agents. And we will use that start with TypeSpec for Microsoft 365 Copilot. It is currently in preview. We should come out of preview pretty soon. But for now, we wanted to start as preview as we're still ironing out. Can we say that? We're still fixing a couple of things that we want to have as clean as possible before we go into general availability. So you're going to start with TypeSpec here. I'm going to say I'm going to use that folder. I'm going to call it GitHub agent. Can I do that? Yes. I did not create a GitHub agent before, which is a miracle because usually I always do that. I'm just going to say yes, trust all of it. Trust the authors, and then let's go. The first thing you're going to notice is that the project is similar, right? The project similar to before. You have an app package right here. You have a couple of files. What you don't have here is a declarative agent.json file or a let me close that here, or an AI plugin file, or all of these files. You won't get that here. And the reason why you will not get that is because we will generate all of these really weird files for you. You won't have to generate them. You're going to use code to generate these things. So that way it's fully typed and so much easier. So the first thing you're going to notice is you have two new files. The main.tsp file, this file right here, and the actions.tsp. These two are working together. And the reason why they're working together is that they are included in each other. So the first thing that really TypeSpec offers you is the ability to separate your code in multiple files depending on areas, but also think about reusability. These files could be packaged as NPM packages, for example, and be reused across a bunch of different projects. I see a comment in the chat. You are not right. As expected, no support for syntax. No, you actually have full support for syntax. The only thing you will have to do here is, that's not what I want to do. You're going to have to go and start and just do an npm install. So that way you're going to get all the dependencies installed for you automatically. I'm going to do an npm install, and then you're going to have full syntax highlighting, full support using the TypeSpec language server that will give you all of the goodness of all of that. So while this happens, I'm just going to let it run here. and we'll come back to that as soon as this is done. So let's look at what our main file looks like. So first, you're going to have a couple of imports. These imports are to the regular TypeSpec libraries, but also to TypeSpec for Microsoft 365 Copilot that allows you to have more and more insights into M365 Copilot specific capabilities. Second, you're going to have here your agent. Your agent here, and I'm just going to close because now I see that my npm install just got cleared out. Should be all done now. Looks like it installed everything. We should be all good. Don't know why it's still under highlighting, but let's come back to that later. It's okay for now. You're going to have an agent decorator that basically defines your agent. So that's the name of your agent, the description of your agent, and here you're going to have full support for a multi-line instructions. That's literally the instructions you would put in an agent by default. But then afterwards, we're going to guide you to use some of the default capabilities that exist. For example, here we have conversation starter. So here I can go here. I can go to edit. I can toggle my line comment. And now I can add conversation starters. For example, have all of the conversation starters or the starter prompts available natively inside M365 Copilot. So here, basically, you just said, I have an agent, I have a title, I have a description, I have a set of instructions, I have conversation starters. Maybe that's where you end. There are scenarios where agents can be instructions only. It's absolutely possible. But what if we wanted to go a little bit deeper? We wanted to add some default capabilities that exist in Microsoft 365 Copilot. For example, I can add web search. I can add the ability to search on the web and to focus on a specific area of the web. In my case, I'm going to build an agent that is specialized in GitHub issues. So here I'm going to go in my namespace. My namespace basically means this is where all my capabilities exist for M365 Copilot. And here I'm just going to add a web search that is an agent's capability and has a maximum, in that case, of 4 different URLs. And here, this is one of the biggest value here is if I actually add more than 4, more than 4, this is where you're going to have all of our validation kick in, right? We're going to have that validation get into it and make sure that you cannot load more than 4. We're going to give you all of that. Really, really cool. Now, I want to also integrate with an API. And in my case, I want to integrate with the GitHub API. The GitHub API allows me to search for capabilities for GitHub issues. And in that case, I already have it here. So let me just uncomment this, where I'm going to be able to say, I'm defining a service. A service is an API that has a server URL. That's my GitHub server URL. Has a bunch of different metadata. And the reason why we specify the metadata is to help Copilot understand when to call that. So if I go to my actions.tsp file, you're going to see that I have a name for the human. I have a description for the human. I have a description for the model. So depending on the capabilities, depending on the things you want to highlight for the model, so it automatically and select your API at the right time to do the right call, you're going to be able to really expand these descriptions to make them as proper as possible. And finally, I'm going to say, I'm going to use this these actions. I'm only going to select the search issues for here. So I'm just going to use this action that I have here, this right here. And let's look at that for a couple seconds. This here means is very simple, but it allows a lot of things. First, it tells me that I have an API call here, a route that I want to use, /search/issues. I have an adaptive card here that is stored in my adaptive cards folder. I have it here. That represents my search issues. I also have my get operation that says, hey, I have a query string. I have a query here from part of the query string that is called Q, and I have all of these default things here. All of that is super difficult to represent when you're using our JSON format, or even if you want to use some instructions to do that. Here, we're generating it all for you in a format that is known by Copilot to make it as simple as possible. And here I'm just saying, hey, I want to have by default 5 different items for pages. In my case, let's do that. Let's change this to a repo that I know exists. This one exists. GitHub agent. And I'm just going to hit save here. And I'm just going to automatically say, you know what? I'm ready. Let's just go to Microsoft 365 Copilot here. It's going to load my account. It's going to load all the capabilities from here. And I'll be able to automatically get to provision that app automatically. Haven't done a lot. I've added a conversation starter, added a little bit of instructions, added a capability of web search, connected it to the GitHub API. I haven't had to bring my own OpenAPI description. If you've ever used OpenAPI description, you know how tricky these things are. It's hard to author, it's hard to maintain, it's also hard to add capabilities along the way. So how do you do that? Well, here, we're going to automatically generate the OpenAPI that represents this route and this service for you. So you don't have to think about it. Now, it had to be the demo effect. Looks like my agent's toolkit is just sleeping right now, just trying to get out of sleep for a second, so I cannot publish just yet. Let me maybe just close that for a second, reopen it. Let's see how that might play out just a second. And if not, we're just going to put that on the fact that we are doing this hybrid thing between us and Germany, and I guess the technical issues we had at the beginning or just before the beginning might have hit me back here in Montreal, but it should not. So we're going to leave it another 2 or 3 seconds. What is really interesting also to note is that all of the capabilities of agents are supported natively in TypeSpec. So if you want to do authenticated APIs, you can using API key, OAuth. If you want to use SSO, you can also. If you want to do all the capabilities we have, all of that is fully possible. Cool. Now I'm all good. So now I can. I see I'm already signed in. Right here, let me actually sign out from this account. I'm going to go and sign in. I'm going to go here. It's going to give me a login. I'm going to say, I want to use this account. Thank you so much. Now it's going to sign in. And in a second, I will be able to click on provision right there. And now it's going to go and it's going to create the app. It's going to compile all the TypeSpec code that I created. It's going to push the app or the agent to Microsoft 365 Copilot. It's going to make sure it's valid. It's going to make sure everything is all available for me. And in around 30 seconds, I should be able to see the agent over there in right here. So let me go here. Let me go back there. I'm going to leave it just a second or two to load. We can go and see how these things are happening. You can have a full log of everything that is happening. You see all of that. Everything just works perfectly. It says it did compile everything. I can go and check my output, see what the Agents Toolkit is doing on my behalf. I go here, you can see everything one step at a time. Now it said that it went through all my validation rules, and now I'm good to go. So I can just go straight to my other screen right here, reload that guy here, and I should see a GitHub agent showing up on top. Might be still a little bit, oh, there we go. So now it's here. I have my GitHub agent here. I have my starter prompts, get the latest issues from GitHub. I'm going to click on that, and now it's going to automatically say, oh, wait a second. You're looking for GitHub stuff. Let me find the right API. And we describe the API in the right way. And then it says, oh, here. And then it uses the same parameters that we've put in our contract, right? That is awesome, because now it's always going to respect that. I'm going to say always allow. Now it's going to go call the API on my behalf. And then we'll bring that back to the screen. And now I see all of the issues that are there. Not only they are showing the top 5, because we asked to show the top 5, right? But also it gives me a beautiful card that is there by default that allows me to see, oh, I want to see this issue a little bit more. And now I can click on view issue. And now I have the full breakdown of what this issue is. So in just like 10 minutes, I was able to connect to an API, to GitHub, don't provide an open API, all generated for me. I was able to build my first TypeSpec agent with the Agents Toolkit. And now it's up to you. now go try it out. You have all of our docs are available in the M365 Copilot Dev Center, where you have a specific page dedicated to TypeSpec. Go try it out. Germany, back to you.
Awesome. So, really great job. Yeah, in less than 10, 15 minutes, you built something from start to finish. So that's very, very cool. Thank you. And don't worry, everybody, you don't have to be in Europe or Montreal to make it happen. You can work anywhere you want and it'll still work. So awesome. Thanks, Seb. All right, let's move on to Sarah, where she is going to talk about introduction to Microsoft 365 Agent SDK. So Sarah, feel free to take on over the screen share. All right, I see you live. If you want to do audio check.
Hello from Canada.
Coming through. Yep, sounds
awesome.
Great. Take it away.
I'm trying to do what Seb was doing. You sounded very Eurovision-like, Seb. Thanks. So let's go with that, right? So hey, I'm Sarah calling from Canada. Hey everyone. Seb hit on something really important at the start of not only did he have the bar quite high for the next 10 minutes, so I'll try and deliver, but one of the things that Seb hit on at the very start was this kind of, you can use Copilot Studio to create agents, or you can use kind of pro code tools like Visual Studio, etc. And so we really are working hard to make sure that you can choose whichever. Right, whichever tool really meets your needs and you want to use, you should be able to build agents. You probably, one of the biggest messages that we had from Build last week was really this multi-agent concept as well, which really kind of brings that together, right? That you're going to be able to blend agents, whether they're made in the low-code tools or in tools like Visual Studio together. So it really becomes a matter of preference and what you want to use to build it. So I really want to double click on that message. So the other thing that Seb did brilliantly was all roads lead to the toolkit. So it was like we planned these demos back to back. So I'm going to be showing you the toolkit today, but I've got like 4 slides that I just want to kind of set things up and explain a little bit really around what the Microsoft 365 Agents SDK is, which was recently announced as GA at Microsoft Build last week. And so let's just dive straight in. So one of the things that we find, especially working in our team in the SDK and just with customers, is that they want to be able to go and they come to us and they're, hey, Sarah, we already have and know what model we want to use. It's already been approved by our board or by our company, and we're used to working with this. It's the same thing with orchestrators. So typically teams already know, like semantic kernel, for example, a really, really popular orchestrator. They're already familiar with it. They don't want to use another orchestrator. They don't want to learn another one. They don't want to get trained on another orchestrator. They want to host their own code. And they want to be able to pick it up and put it wherever they want. And they want to be able to deploy it to where their customers or their employees are, whether that's M365 Copilot, whether that's Teams, whether that's a custom app or a custom, just any kind of custom website or application within their business. And then they also want to connect it to their agents, as I said before. And so this is really what we're trying to directly address with the Microsoft 365 Agents SDK, because it allows our customers to really do exactly what I just described. And it allows them to be able to bring whatever AI they want, whatever orchestrator they want to work with that AI, and really whatever knowledge they require to ground the requests and to ground their experience for their users. It's an open source SDK worked on by Microsoft. It's available at aka.ms/agents in 3 languages, C#, JavaScript, and Python. That's our parent repo that you'll be going to at that AKA link. And you can then just go ahead and click whichever language of preference you want to go and use. Our samples are at the parent repo. And it allows, once you've chosen your ingredients, your AI, your orchestrator, and your model, you go ahead and wrap that up in really what we provide in the SDK, which is a lot of conversation management initially. So you've got state or memory, you've got storage options, auth. We've worked really hard on auth, especially around 1P auth with Microsoft clients like Copilot and Teams. And then the idea is that then you wrap that up, and then developers can go deploy that to any of the 15 plus channels that we support straight out the box, like Microsoft 365 Copilot, Teams, Slack, or If none of those serve your needs, you can actually go and build your very own channel adapter yourself and go push it over to wherever you need your agent to surface. And so the idea is that you can have whatever AI services you require. And the key thing here is about the evolution of your agent. You're probably going to want to change out the model. You're probably going to want to change out the services you use. You may even want to change the orchestrator in time. And it's around having that flexible nature to go ahead and adapt and evolve, as well as supporting multi-agent patterns. We often get dispatcher broker as being one of our most popular patterns, where our customers say, hey, we want kind of, to surface all these other agents, kind of like SME agents, and we want to be able to surface that in M365 Copilot. Sure, like you can go ahead and do that. And again, because we're unopinionated in the AI that you want to bring or utilize with the SDK, and it really makes it very flexible to go ahead and actually use multiple different models and to have multiple different agents in whatever really pattern that you're looking for. Dispatcher broker is a term that we use for describing where an agent, you've got like a main agent, which will be typically your SDK agent, your agent's SDK agent. And then you would then go ahead and bring in other kind of SME agents that will be very specific. Now, those agents can actually also be Foundry agents. They can also be Copilot Studio agents. So a team could have built some agents in Copilot Studio. You could actually connect with our Copilot Studio client that comes with the SDK and actually connect with one or more than one Copilot Studio agent as well. So you can really try to build and build these multi-agent patterns. We have samples at the aka.ms/agents, our repo, that use semantic kernel, Foundry, LangChain, OpenAI agents SDK, really just to showcase the flexible nature of the SDK. And before I escape out and show you this in action, as Seb mentioned around the toolkit, this is all being really brought together with the toolkit, with the Microsoft 365 Agents toolkit. And it's being brought together in a few different ways. And if we look at it from the perspective of the lifecycle of a developer, of a customer, you're going to be from the get-go, which is where we're going to start today. When you hit File, New, you've got a bunch of templates available in the toolkit, and we've gone straight out the gate with two core templates. We've got our traditional and familiar to some of you, our Echo agent or empty agent. And so this is really that empty container that you can then go bring, as I said, your AI orchestrator and your knowledge. And really, we provide all of that scaffolding for you just to get started. So you don't have to go and grab our sample yourself. Or you can actually start with the one I'm going to show you today, our weather agent, which is really it will prompt you to say, hey, which LLM do you want to use? And it'll actually go ahead and add in either OpenAI or your Foundry agent all straight into your code, and you can be up and running testing locally in a matter of, we're probably going to do it in less than 60 seconds today, which is really amazing. And what I mean by that is you're going to see me connect my AI, you're going to see semantic kernel at work, and you're going to see me test locally in the Microsoft 365 Agents Playground, which is directly embedded into the Agents Toolkit. It's a local testing environment for your agents that you can go use just to see is my agent working. I've just put all my ingredients together. Have I baked what cake I need to bake? Right? And really, that's one of the biggest things that we've found, is that you want to be able to see, is everything working? And then as you go through that life cycle, you can then go ahead and actually change different debug targets. So you can go ahead and actually say, well, now I'm good. This is working locally. I want to actually now see it working on my actual end client. So you can actually just simply change the target to Microsoft Teams, or you can change the target to Microsoft 365 Copilot, and you can actually start to actually see your agent working in those specific clients. And the toolkit does that. The toolkit scaffolds this all up, so you don't have to go and manually import your manifest file, etc. This is what the toolkit's always been good at. This is what the toolkit's always been fantastic at, being able to really save the time of developers from having to do a lot of this manual overhead, setting up things like middleware that you have to do if you choose not to use the toolkit. And then the last leg of the journey, which is around then once you're good with it working in your client, you can then go ahead and deploy it, which is really just around pushing your code. And so let's kind of see this. I want to show this. So let's go and just start from my Visual Studio here. So I'm going to create a new project. You're going to have Toolkit installed. And then you're going to search for agents. So if you search for agents in templates, you're going to see the Microsoft 365 agents here. You're going to click on that. And you're going to name all your stuff as you would. And then what you're going to get is you're going to get a selection of different templates. Now, this is what I mean by me and Seb planned all this all along. You have a bunch of different templates here. Some of these more declarative, some of them what we refer to as custom engine. And you've got also a few different teams templates here as well. So really this is what I was talking about when I was saying like all roads lead to Toolkit. It's a fantastic place to start. You've got loads of different templates depending on what you want to go build. So if I scroll down here, you're going to find our Echo bot here, or Echo agent, or empty agent. There's a few different words for it. This is that simple implementation. This is your this is basically hey, I know best. I want to bring my own stuff. I just want the scaffolding. You go click that and you'll have all of the SDK code that you need. You'll have the agents playground as well, all of that stuff. Great. But let's just kind of do something a little bit better, which is really, I want to be able to add in my own AI services and I want to use semantic kernel. So I'm in C# today. Whereas, so we have for our C# implementation, we've got semantic kernel and we've got Foundry and OpenAI, which you'll see in a moment. For JavaScript, we're using LangChain and OpenAI Agents SDK for our samples. So if I click Weather Agent, you're going to get a few different prompts. So it's going to say, cool, which LLMs do you want to use? We've got our two options, as I said, and now it's asking me for a bunch of stuff that I'm going to go and paste in. I've got my endpoint and I've got my deployment name. Great. Hit create. I'm still in a 60-second window. We can go for 2 minutes. It's fine. Let me move my window over. Great. Awesome. I'm just going to hit start. What's going to happen is Agents Playground's going to open in just a moment. We're going to see our code open. And we just want to wait for our Agents Playground to load. Great, we're good. So now I can just talk. And now I can just talk to my agent. And just like that, like less than 60 seconds, I've got a testing interface that I'm using semantic kernel, I'm using my Foundry agent, and there's no reason why this agent cannot be an agent hosted on Copilot Studio, an agent wherever it is. And I can put breakpoints in, do some debugging, whatever you need to do to be able to really be comfortable with what you want to do. And if you want to, as I said earlier, if Agents Playground's great for local, that's awesome. But what you're going to want to do, once you're happy with that, testing in your actual target channel is your next stage of integration testing. As you all know, clients like our channels, they all work in wonderful and amazing ways, and they all render things differently, and they all behave slightly differently. They're all independent clients at the end of the day, and so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to then kind of level up your testing, and the Agents Toolkit makes this super easy with Teams and M365 Copilot, and providing you're authenticating, you're signed in, etc. You'll see M365 Copilot here as well. You can see Teams already. So if you was to click Teams, you will actually have the Teams client open, and you would actually be able to test in Teams. It's the same for M365 Copilot. This is really fantastic for testing, especially UI stuff like adaptive cards, which typically have different support patterns across different clients, and just generally, again, like I said, best practice for integration testing. And really, that's it. I don't want to really. There's no reason to complicate this anymore. We've tried to make this as simple as possible for you to start, test, actually see your agents working. What we're actually going to do is after today, Matt's going to come in and do some proper deep dive sessions, just showing you things like Auth, the Copilot Studio client, all of the real kind of extensions and deeper dive things in the SDK that we've really tried to build out so we can double click on what you've seen today beyond just the file new experience. So yeah, I'll check. I haven't got my Teams open. I'll open Teams and check any questions. But yeah, I hope that helps. And back over to Germany.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Very, very cool. And I loved your reference to cake and recipes. You had me at that moment, but you could say this is hot out of the oven because it just came out in build last week, right? So
yep.
Very, very cool. Thank you for sharing. We look forward to the next demos, deeper dives. Excellent. Thank you. Great stuff. All right. Well, to wrap it all up, we've got Richard and Mallika on custom SharePoint portal design, winners of the SharePoint Hackathon. So Richard or Mallika, whoever is going to take over. There we go. We see it. Feel free to take on over the audio. Yep, I can hear you.
Thumbs up. Awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah. So Mallika and I are going to take you through our SharePoint Hackathon submission. So this is a little different than the other two demos today, but it's built around beautiful SharePoint portals. So we'll go through that the next 10 minutes or so. So before we get into that, again, just a brief introduction to who I am. My name is Richard Plantt. I am a creative lead, a consultant at TutorLead. My background is in graphic design, UX research. I've been using SharePoint for several years, many years, and just really excited to see how SharePoint has evolved and adapted and changed, even in this last year or so, just getting more intentional with the design and those kind of design feature updates. So we're going to take you through a few of those new features today as we go through it. We're always looking at TutorLead how we can listen, measure, and build solutions within SharePoint that support our customers and that cutting edge in terms of the user experience. Mallika, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Hey, everyone. It's great to be on this call with everyone. Really great demos from the two speakers. I'm a graphic designer at TutorLead, and I specialize in designing creative solutions in TutorLead for a variety of digital content, such as promotional materials, our website, social media, and more. I'm also an active member of the marketing team where I lead marketing campaigns and implement SEO strategies. I'm actually new to SharePoint, and I've shared this as well, but the latest features like flexible layouts, design ideas, and editorial cards and more made it actually very easy for me to adapt even as a beginner, and I was able to start creating whole pages and sites by myself pretty quickly. And that's also why the SharePoint Hackathon was kind of a great learning experience for me because I got to kind of use those tools more, and I'm looking forward to showcasing the pages that we built.
All right, thanks, Mallika. So yeah, our quick demo, basically, we're going to cover a couple different SharePoint pages. The first is a department site that we use internally at TutorLead for our marketing and communications team. We'll take you through that. And then the second example is an editorial type page where we're going to cover things like brand center, design ideas, flexible sections, as well as the new editorial card styles. You're going to see that in our live site. So we'll take you through that together. So I guess without any further ado, we'll switch over to SharePoint here. So to start things off, yeah, Brand Center. We love the new Brand Center. Going in, you'll see in our intranet and our portal design, we're using custom fonts. We're using our own custom brand colors, and it was really quick and easy to go in, set those up, get those applied to our themes. As well, you can see the new theme center that we were using, going in, picking our primary colors or secondary colors, and all that has been just so intertwined so well with SharePoint and the site themes that way. So that was one of the first things we started with when working on these department sites or these different pages. So you can kind of see here we have those custom fonts, those the custom brand and theming set in place. Mallika, you want to take us through maybe some of the main sections on our marketing department site?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, like Richard said, this is our marketing and communications department site, and it's one of the pages that we built for the hackathon and submitted. First, you can see we have the hero zone, which features the carousel web part, and we kind of integrated this into the hero zone because we thought it was an engaging way to showcase top articles and special announcements in this department site. Its interactivity also adds visual interest to the site, allowing users to focus on the updates as soon as they land. And right below that, we have a few quick links. This is kind of the key tools and apps for the department or the employees to quickly access for their day-to-day activities. Next, we have the featured announcements as well as news from across our organization, which acts as links to another page. And this is followed by upcoming department events right below that. And having these updates all in one spot allows the employees to kind of stay updated easily without having to navigate around too much. So that was kind of the idea around that.
Thanks, Mallika. Yeah, so we're just going to go into edit mode too to kind of give you a peek behind the curtain of these different parts and sections that we have going on. Below that is where we get a little more interesting with the new flexible sections here that you can kind of see. Clicking on through, we have control over the layout of the actual section itself. And then in the design panel, we've really tried to push backgrounds, custom backgrounds. So you'll see a lot of different kind of scenarios that way. In this case, custom background image. We're experimenting with some overlays and how that background is anchored, along with additional images, text boxes. So because this is the flexible section, we can go in, we can move things around. Support for these editorial cards is great as well, going in, clicking in those. So these are, again, real world scenarios, real world use cases that we use day in and day out on our marketing and communications, linking to HR stuff, as well as our org asset library when we work on socials and designs for our marketing team. We also wanted to include our conversations web part to encourage collaboration, of course, throughout our team internally. We're remote, so getting everyone on board, asking those questions, very important to have those roll up and featured here. As well, moving further down the page, some more examples of that flexible sections. So one of the things that we also really loved about some of these new features were the templates that are included. It gives you a great way to jumpstart if you're not even sure where to begin when working with flexible sections or any other kind of design in your SharePoint. So you can see a lot of these sections that we built and used. We started with some of these section templates to give us a bit of a head start there. And there's so many to choose from. I would encourage everyone to check those out if you haven't already. And it's just a great way to get some of those ideas flowing if you're not sure where to start. As well, you'll see we went all out in terms of the flexible sections, trying to kind of see the limits or that we can push things to. So we added a lot of different elements. Probably wouldn't do this normally, but again, you'll see all these are individual images on their own layers, and we can group them, we can change them in their position in the layers, as well as the text boxes below. Same with these little persona icons. In the past, we would have saved this out as one flat image and then added it to the page. Now we can add them individually. We can layer them so you can change the order and just freeform, move things around. So it's really great in terms of the flexibility that you have with these different zones. I guess that's pretty good for our department page. Maybe we'll switch gears, go into our editorial type layout next. So again, this would be more of a one-off or a custom kind of a news article. We wanted to showcase and highlight some of these new features, of course, for the design and the page layout in SharePoint. And if we go into edit here, again, you'll notice that this hero zone in the header section is using that flexible sections piece again. Every text piece is on its own layer. That was by design, that was intentional. Even the image here is a transparent image. It really felt like we were designing right in SharePoint, which I've never experienced that kind of before. So it was really interesting in terms of creating these pages, going in and yeah, color, fonts, typography, imagery, everything kind of coming together in these different sections, moving them around free form, creating them on the page that way. So just moving further down and watching our time, Mallika, maybe you want to talk about the next few areas here?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, like Richard said, flexible sections, the grids and guides, being able to anchor things, right, group things, makes it really easy. Like over here, we have some text as well, using different styles of text, which is also a really great way to kind of put in that stylistic effect. And over here, we have images that we kind of imported into SharePoint as well and made groups of it. And you can see like we have a background layer there that's just kind of like a gradient going down, guiding users' eyes below to the next section. Yeah, and here we have some editorial cards, which we thought was a nice way to kind of break up the text in between the sections. And we customized it to draw users' attention to the call to action buttons, which is to either download the report or take the survey. And in the edit mode, as you can see, Richard is showing you, we chose the image overlay layout to combine the visuals and the text. And we customized it even further by adding a background image to each of the cards. And we chose kind of photos with like a similar stylistic version to all the other photos that we've used so far in our department sites and this page. And we also added a dark overlay color and opacity. And by adding this contrast, we thought that it would make the text and call to action button even more visible and accessible for users to read. And we also anchored some of the images and graphics to experiment and customize the section even more. And we thought that contrast is a very big element in this layout, which is why we have kind of a dark and light contrast as you've seen so far. It really helped break up the different page elements and keep it visually appealing to maintain the reader's attention. Richard, do you want to talk about the code section here?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we built a number of different sections, probably more than what we would normally do. But again, this was just giving us hands-on experience in how to use some of these new features. Really easy, really straightforward to go in and add something like a custom quote. So we added our own, image quote marks using the styles in the editor of the pull quote, and then again, flexible sections to add custom background and elements like the attribute of the quote itself. Other things here we'll just kind of wrap up and highlight is just the ability to even import images like SVGs, very crisp vector type graphics for our infographics. Really an impressive way to add and tell stories on these different SharePoint pages that way. So a number of different styles. Again, using color and contrast as we go through the different sections to make it almost like an editorial type article that you're reading and looking at. And then finally, we have a third kind of iteration of our editorial cards with a custom background that kind of parts through. All by design, we were able to do this all without out of the box SharePoint web parts and create something really captivating at the end of the day. So I guess in closing, we just hope that you, as a takeaway from this demo, this quick demo, is that you can create some pretty impressive custom kind of designs in your SharePoint. Using the Brand Center, you can get your own colors, your own fonts, using design ideas and some of those patterns in the background. If you're not sure where to start, those are great to get things going, get those creative juices flowing, and get you started that way. Again, just go in, tweak a few things, make it your own. Those worked really well for us. Flexible sections, totally new, game changer, like we were saying. Haven't experienced anything like that before in SharePoint. And I feel like we're scratching the surface with some of that too. I know working with our customers, this is stuff they've been asking for years, having their own brand, their own colors, and just the ability to move things around on the page. And it's an exciting time to be designing in SharePoint. And the very last thing I just want to shout out is the accessibility assistant. We loved that. Going through, we were able to test our contrast and our alt text on our pages that way. So Yeah, that's about it. Mallika, any final words there as well?
Yeah, no, this was great. Thank you so much for inviting us to this call so that we can demo this to everyone. It was a great chance for both of us to get more of like a hands-on experience with the new SharePoint features to innovate. And again, like I said, I was a beginner and I could kind of see what I could come up with as well. And here in our org, we're always encouraged to kind of try and fail fast method. So similar to this, the hackathon was a great call out for how we work by continuously adapting and always shipping. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Awesome. Richard, Mallika, thank you very, very much. Very cool. Congratulations. Excellent job by both of you and the whole team over there at TutorLead. I feel like with your design and all those other ones that are part of the hackathon, are we entering the era of can you make it look more like SharePoint? Is that the era we're in? I think we're getting pretty close. All these other applications and platforms are saying SharePoint is the gold standard of design now. We're capable of doing that. So great job to you both. Thank you very much. And congratulations again. And thank you to all of our presenters today. Seb, Sarah, Richard, Mallika, you did awesome. We really appreciate the presentations and all the work that you're doing. So keep it up and all those in the community. All right, let's wrap this up. We are going to talk about next week's Tuesday call. We'll all be back at our places. We're going to hear from Daniel, Mark, and Sahil on MCP servers, SharePoint embedded, and document first forms and SharePoint libraries. So exciting there. If you want to get more involved in the community, we've got a Discord server, a number of channels that span the spectrum of the community, so you can get involved there, kind of a one-stop shop, and you can impress your friends and kids that you're in Discord. Hey, cool you. Awesome. It is absolutely free. And we'd love to hear what you think of these calls. So please let us know if they're working for you. If they're not, if there's other areas that you would like to get involved with or see us doing, please let us know. We're open to making sure that this is an experience that you are loving. All right, well, our next call will be in June 3rd, a week from today. The recording will be available in 24 hours or less. We're a little busy here at the conference, at the European Collaboration Summit, so bear with us, but we will get it up within 24 hours. You can subscribe today at ak.ns/community/YouTube, and of course, you can follow us on the socials at LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and Twitter/X. Now, I think we got to try to figure out, let's see here. I'm looking for Vesa. I need to see if I can find the teams here. Where did my teams go? Because I feel like he should be here to wrap it up. Let me see if I could figure this out. And let me see. Vesa, are you around here somewhere? He's got to be around here somewhere. Let me see if I can find Vesa in Spotlight. There we go. Let's Spotlight Vesa, and let's take Gallery.
So David, where did you go? I'm seeing a lot of MVPs here. A lot of MVPs, a lot of people. I don't know. I just lost the track of time, and I think I got distracted.
Somewhere out on the floor. Oh my goodness, Vesa, where are you? Are you okay? You got to make your way back. I see a tiny house. Someone's doing some interviews in a tiny house. Oh my gosh. Let's see. There's a bunch of vendors. All right. Is everybody seeing this? Vesa is spotlit, so seeing all the attendees. Oh, he just got directed. He'll make his way back here, everybody. Oh, there he is. All right. I see. This is like a reality show, the Great Escape. Vesa, come back to the Startup Center. It's making his way. Oh, stuck in traffic. Here he comes. I think he's getting closer. Ah. Great to see so many amazing faces here at the community, everybody. Oh wait, I think I see. Oh, there we are. Oh, there he is, Vesa. So thank you everybody online for having fun with us and bearing with us.